Welcome to another edition of Let's Play WCW 1998. This is the big event, the pay-per-view, if you will, for the month of May. And we kick it off Slammbore with a promo from the president of the WCW Championship Committee, Tully Blanchard. And Tully Blanchard makes his way to the ring and has this to say. First he welcomes the fans to the show tonight. And then he announces that tonight, right here, right now, he will name the new representative of the Championship Committee of WCW, and he doesn't waste any time to drop the name of the man who will now be the representative of the WCW Championship Committee and have all the authority that he wants. That, my friend, is he does say something like this: I would like to introduce one of my old rivals. Now, I guess you could say he's my business partner, because I'm his boss. I would like to introduce the representative of the WCW Championship Committee, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Now, you may like to know now. Now would be a good time for me to do a Dusty Rhodes impression, but other than, that's gonna make your back crack, liver quiver, knees freeze. I don't really have a Dusty Rhodes impression, like, you know, spot-on impressions that you would hear from Paul Heyman, or Jim Cornette, or Raven, or Diamond Dallas Page. You know, I don't have a spot-on impression like that, because as I believe Jim Cornette said, when you work with Dusty, you learn how to talk like Dusty. Now we move to our first match tonight, and that is the Cruiserweight title match. The Cruiserweights collide as Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio Jr., and Ultimo Dragon collide in a triple threat match for the Cruiserweight title, and it was actually a three-way dance, my mistake, and Rey Mysterio was the one who got eliminated second. Ultimo Dragon got eliminated due to a distraction caused by the debuting Evan Courageous. And you might think, why did I pick Evan Courageous? Well, I'm a big believer in building for the future. These guys, 57, that's a solid match, especially for my company. I mean, just think back to last pay-per-view when when the Giant and Mike Awesome got a 44 and they were in the semi-main, and then main eventing the next day on Nitro, Kevin Nash and the Giant got a 44 again. So compare that to a 44. The Cruiserweights do tremendously better. So I'm investing in the Cruiserweights, basically, is what I'm saying. Now we move to the broadcast position with Larry Zbyszko, Mike Tenay, and Tony Schiavone. First, I want to say that Larry Zbyszko is likely not going to be the permanent replacement for Dusty Rhodes, as Dusty Rhodes originally was the pay-per-view color commentator, and I don't know if Larry's going to be the definite color commentator replacement, or I might have Larry move to Nitro and Bobby move to the pay-per-views. We'll see what happens, because currently Larry is on Saturday night, But yeah. Oh yeah, and the announcers, they talked about the main event, which is DDP versus Randy Savage versus Sting versus the Giant for the WCW World Heavyweight title in a Fatal 4-Way match. That match is a Fatal 4-Way, which means one fall to a finish. The Cruiserweight title match was a 3-way dance, which means it was an elimination match. Now we move to Conan and Hugh Morris. See, the problem with this storyline is, the problem with this feud and the problem with this promo is, number one, it was horrible. Number two, this feud between Strikeforce, as you can see, the rebuttal or the seconding or whatever the heck you want to call it. the feud between these two guys, these two teams rather, has been going on for the last couple of weeks on Saturday night and on the pre-show of Nitro. So that means you guys who watch the show, who watch the videos every week, don't know this feud's going on. So that's why I'm just gonna say that Conan does the talking, and Conan says something to the effect of, "We have been held back for too long by people like you, Rick Martel, and your tag team partner, Tito Santana. We've been held back for too long, and tonight we take both of you out. Arriba la raza." I apologize if that, I'm not Spanish, so I didn't mean anything by that. I just mean that I don't have the accent to make it sound as good as Conan. Basically what I'm saying is, sorry if that didn't sound good. And what Hugh Morris would do is just laugh. Do the Ted DiBiase-esque laugh. This match actually got better than it did the first time when they competed on the pre-show against each other. But this feud basically is designed... If you don't know Strikeforce is Rick Martel and Tito Santana. They competed together as a tag team in WWE in the late 80s, I want to say, before they broke up, and both Tito and Rick Martel went on to single success. But this feud was basically just designed to establish Conan and Hugh Morris as a tag team, to give me a heel tag team to face the Harlem Heat, other than the Thrill Seekers and the Faces of Fear. Now we move backstage where Sting is warming up in the locker room for the main event, and the Giant walks in. Yes, you might say, oh, the Giant doesn't talk, blah, 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 blah. The Giant talks. The Giant can talk. The Giant has cut promos. I mean, for the last 2 months of 1997, all he did was promos. So to say the Giant can't cut promos is a lie. He walks into the Sting's locker room and says, "Look, you had your opportunity. You held that title. It's been a long time since I had that belt around my waist. And I don't care if I have to go through you. I don't care if I have to go through Page. I don't care if I have to go through Savage. I am the largest man in this company. I am not called the Giant for show. I'm called the Giant because I am a giant. And I don't care if I have to break you to get that title. I will." Sting just looks at him and shakes his head and says, "Go ahead and try." Now we move to a video highlighting Goldberg's success up until this point, because tonight Goldberg goes against Raven for the United States Heavyweight title. Now this match, I screwed up because I should have set up the feud between Mike Awesome and Scott Steiner, but I screwed up. So what are you gonna do? Excuse me. But this is a television title match, and Mike Awesome did win the match against Fit Finlay by disqualification because Scott Steiner ran and attacked. That's not. Scott Steiner ran in and attacked Finlay because he's trying to get in Mike Awesome's head. No, this feud has not been going on Saturday night. This feud just started tonight. In all honesty, I don't know. I'm not sure if that's right, because I always get even though I know a tremendous amount about wrestling, I always get confused because I can never figure out is it if a guy interferes and he attacks the person, doesn't that person win via disqualification? And not the other and it doesn't have to be that he attacks the guy's opponent. So if Scott Steiner ran in, wouldn't he have had to attack Mike Awesome for Mike Awesome to win? Because then Mike Awesome would have won by disqualification, because Finlay would have gotten disqualified due to interference. If you understand what I'm saying and you can explain it good, and you can explain it well so I can understand, drop it in the comment section below. Was the game wrong? Should Mike Awesome have won via disqualification because Scott Steiner attacked Finlay? Or should it have been that Mike Awesome won because Finlay got disqualified because Scott Steiner attacked Mike Awesome? Drop the comment down in the comment section below. Of course, post-match, Mike Awesome and Scott Steiner have a face-off because Mike Awesome doesn't understand why Scott Steiner's here. But Scott Steiner understands, and he's, yeah. Diamond Dallas Page and Gene Okerlund. Gene Okerlund says something to this effect of, I'd like to introduce my guest at this time, Diamond Dallas Page. DDP comes out, and, DDP cuts I guess you could say a short promo, just what tonight means to him, and what it would mean to him to win the world title. And because of the raw emotion that DDP normally speaks with, and the fact that if you're in this business, you're in the to quote Triple H, if you're not in the wrestling business to win the world title, you're not in the right business. So, with that being said, I would let Diamond Dallas Page have an unscripted promo tonight, and I would tell him, speak from the heart. What does the title shot tonight mean to you? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to be getting the opportunity to fight for the title at the age of 42 or 41? I don't remember how old he is. Now we move to a history package highlighting the upcoming match, and which is a 6-man tag team match between Ric Flair, Team Flair, which includes Ric Flair, Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, versus Team Piper, which includes Roddy Piper, Sid Vicious, and Greg the Hammer Valentine. And this video package highlights the history between the six men involved in this match, and finally, after almost 6 months of taking everything that Piper's crew has to dish out on him, Flair finally gets some revenge as Ric Flair, Chris Benoit, and Dean Malenko defeat Sid Vicious, Roddy Piper, and Greg the Hammer Valentine, as Ric Flair makes Greg Valentine submit to the figure 4 leg lock. And post-match, think about this. Remember last pay-per-view? Chris Benoit fought Sid Vicious one-on-one in a match, And post-match, Chris Benoit got attacked by Piper, Sid, and Greg Valentine, and would be on the shelf and would be injured away from the ring for about a month, making his return tonight actually, and he was also forced to vacate his TV title due to the injuries and not being able to withstand his fulfill his obligations as champion. So think about what this heated confrontation brings to the table. Flair, he's had problems since December with Sid and Piper, and Benoit lost a month of his career due to Piper and Sid. Yes, Dean is willing to help out his best friend. Arn is willing to help out his best friend. Dean is willing to help out Ric Flair. But fact of the matter is, now it boils down to two. Sid, Benoit, Sid and Piper, and Benoit and Flair. The heat, the tension is so palpable that you can cut it with a knife, and then the knife would break. Now we go backstage with the Thrill Seekers. This is not a typical promo. They're more back in the locker room talking about making fun of the Faces of Fear and how how dumb they look, stuff like that, stupid things that, stuff, basically a late 1990, early 2000 Chris Jericho promo in WWE. What am I gonna say? This is not also. This one is also not. This one is highlighting. This video package is highlighting Raven winning the title last month. His post-match celebration, and then the decimation of the flock by Goldberg that has taken place over the last month. Him beating, destroying Lodi, Sick Boy, Riggs, Hammer, Kidman, Saturn, everybody, to get to Raven, to get to tonight, to become the new WCW United States Heavyweight Champion. Goldberg has not only now been undefeated since September of 1997, but he is now the current WCW United States Heavyweight Champion. Goldberg celebrates with the title. He raises the title high above his head, and all you hear him scream is, "Who's next?" Now we zoom up to the rafters. Sting is in a stairwell up in the rafters, up in the rafters of the arena, in a staircase, assumingly the staircase that leads up to the rafters, and we see he has a picture on the wall. And he just points his bat to the picture on the wall, and the camera turns, and it's a picture of Randy Savage on the wall. And the picture is from Spring Stampede last month, when Savage was celebrating following his victory in the main event, holding Sting's world title. After capturing Sting's world title, rather. Now we move to this segment. I think this is the last time I'm going to have Gene Okerlund be the interviewer for Bret Hart. Gene Okerlund, once again in the ring, introduces his guest at this time, Bret Hitman Hart. And Bret Hart says, you know what? I trust Bret Hart. I'm not saying it because I don't want to say what I would make him say. I'm saying it because fact of the matter is, They've made fun of him. Hogan and Bischoff have been making fun of him for the last 2 months at least. They've made life difficult for Davey Boy Smith and Jim Neidhart, who, by the way, Jim Neidhart is the manager of Davey Boy Smith. That's why Jim Neidhart, they've made life difficult for Jim too. So, with the fact that they made fun of him, they made fun of his family, they made fun of his career. I'm giving Bret Hart the ability to say what's on his mind and to say how he truly feels about Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff tonight, right in that segment. And now we move to the next segment, which is a three-way dance triple threat tag team match for the WCW tag team titles with Harlem Heat against the Faces of Fear and the Thrill Seekers. I want to say this: the Thrill Seekers aren't eliminated by the Harlem Heat. They are eliminated by the Faces of Fear. Can you see who they're eliminated by? Does the game show you? That's why I can say they were eliminated by the Faces of Fear. The reason for this match, though, is think back to Nitro. What happened on Nitro? Harlem Heat was facing the Faces of Fear, and the Thrill Seekers interfered, costing Harlem Heat the match, as Faces of Fear won by countout. Since then, Jimmy Hart has been campaigning to the WCW Championship Committee to have Faces of Fear get a WCW tag team title shot because they were screwed out of winning their match fair and square on Nitro, and in reality they beat the tag team champions, so they deserved the tag team title shot a hell of a lot more than the Thrill Seekers did. But now the Thrill Seekers got eliminated by the Faces of Fear, and then the Faces of Fear were defeated by Harlem Heat. And Harlem Heat retained the WCW tag team titles. Much like I need to change the gimmick of the Barbarian, I need to change the gimmick of Larry Zbyszko. Not that that would have actually helped the segment get any better, because it's not based on, as you can tell, the announcers are talking about Bret Hart, Eric Bischoff, and Hulk Hogan. They are not talking, it is not based on the guys they are talking about, it's based on who is doing the talking. So, that's why it's not as good as you think it would be when it comes to who's involved. They basically say that they all agree that now, tonight, Hogan is getting the comeuppance that Eric Bischoff, he's going to get the return for Eric Bischoff running his mouth for months. And Bret Hart's going to make sure of it. Highlights this video, a video package plays highlighting the history between these two guys that has gone on for the last couple of weeks since Bret Hart walked away back in March, I want to say. This is the problem with improvising the entire 20-minute thing. The video package highlights everything from the night that Bret Hart quit to the night that Bret Hart returned 2 weeks ago. So, and yes, as you can tell, Hulk Hogan defeats Bret Hart with the X-Bomber. Don't ask what the X-Bomber is, but he defeated him with the X-Bomber after interference from Eric Bischoff. There you go. Eric Bischoff, Hulk Hogan gets the win back, gets a win. Eric Bischoff screws Bret Hart out of winning the match. And you know what? Bret Hart's going to come to one realization tonight. Put the comment section down and put what you think that realization is down in the comment section below. And it does have to do with who Bret Hart's versing next month on pay-per-view. Put it down in the comment section below who you think that is. Now we move to the next match. By the way, in between those matches, not to make you think that I had 2 matches, but I had the announcers talk And I also had Michael Buffer do his introductions. You know what? I'm gonna make it special. What's the time on this? What's the time? We got time. Oops. I'm gonna do my Michael Buffer impression. I'm gonna treat you with Michael Buffer. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the main event. Are you ready? No. Taco Bell Arena in Idaho. Are you ready? Then, for the thousands in attendance and for the millions watching around the world, oh, let's get ready to rumble. And then all four men would make their entrances, and one by one, Michael Buffer would make the introductions. Introducing first, the challenger from Venice Beach, California. This is Sting. Introducing next, the challenger from Jersey City, New Jersey, Diamond Dallas Page. And next, from Tampa, Florida, the Giant. And introducing last, he is the reigning, defending WCW World Heavyweight Champion from Sarasota, Florida, the Macho Man, Randy Savage. I hope, and as you can see, Randy Savage retains the WCW World Heavyweight title after defeating the Giant. I don't know why it says by submission. I would make him defeat him by elbow drop, but what are you going to do? Nitro gets a 72. The pay-per-view gets a 78. We're slowly but surely inching our way up. Now let's shoot for an 80 on Nitro tomorrow night. Do you guys think it's possible? Put it down in the comment section below if you don't know what I'm talking about. With Nitro getting a 72, you don't know what a 72 is, where I got that number, look at the bottom left, final rating. The final rating of Nitro was a 72. If you missed Nitro, now's your chance to go and rewatch Nitro, as there will be an annotation up in the top right to let you go back and watch that show. This was one of the best shows we've done, and hopefully, now that I changed the ending of this installment of Let's Play to June or July, maybe, just maybe, things are gonna start picking up. Do you agree with the game? Was this one of our best shows? Once again, let me know in the comment section below, and don't forget to, if you really enjoyed this show, like the video or subscribe to the channel for more content, more unique content just like this that you can only find right here at Wrestling Express. Till next time, hope you enjoy.